So when we first arrived to Taiwan, so we flew by plane, obviously. It's an island in the middle of the ocean. So we did a 14-hour flight, basically. We landed and stuff. We're all kind of tired. We basically skipped a day in time. And we get off, and we're kind of just like unsure of what to expect. We step out into the airport, and we're trying to figure out where we're going because all the signs are in Chinese. You don't understand a thing that is up there. You're just looking around, and you just start trying to follow the crowd. Hopefully they're going the right way. Then I remember we got to a certain point, and all of a sudden we noticed everyone was wearing face masks. The kind of things that like doctors wear, those kind of face masks. And at first we're all just scared. We're like, oh no, like, is everyone sick? What did we just enter? What's going on? It turns out Taiwanese just like to wear those because of the pollution, because when they're sick, they don't want to get other people sick. And it's just more that's just a part of their culture thing. It's not anyone sick at all. So then we get to the line, and they let us through and stuff. We meet our mission president. We all knew that he wasn't going to be our mission president much longer. He only had 6 weeks left, President Bishop. But he was really nice, and it was really interesting because the assistants, like, they greeted us, and they already knew all of our names without even looking at our name tags. And we're like, what? How do they know? So apparently they have pictures of all of us from day one we go into the MTC. A lot of that part is a blur just because we're jet lagged and we're tired by that point because we've been traveling all day. So we just go to bed, wake up, and then they get us up early in the morning, and we're like, okay, we're gonna go exercising. And they have us all run a mile. They have us run to the track to run a mile. And we all run. We're all exhausted just from traveling, from waking up early, being in a completely humid area. And so we finished, we're like, okay, we're done exercising. We got ready. Then they trained us a little bit on just what the mission's like. But then at the end of the night, they invited all the new missionaries to come. Well, they brought us all to a night market. And President Bishop introduced it to us. He tells us about Dan Jones and how he would stand on a soapbox and just yell his testimony to crowds, kind of thing. And he's like, we like to do this in our mission. And so we all gathered in a circle, we started singing a hymn, and everyone kind of just starts gathering around us trying to figure out what's going on, why are people singing, why are all these Americans here dressed in suits. And then I believe the assistants got up first, and they just start yelling their testimony in Chinese, and we're like, we're going to have to do this in a few seconds. Uh-oh. And one by one, they start calling us up, and we go up, and we just try and muster in our 9 weeks of Chinese anything that we've ever learned how to say, trying to say that we know that the church is true and stuff. And then once we finish, a missionary that we'd never met before just came up to us and was like, okay, let's go contact people. And we go in contact for an hour and a half, just talking to people and teaching them about the gospel, getting their information. And that was what our mission called Dan Jones Night. And that's what every new missionary goes through. And then the next morning, you get to meet your trainer. And I remember I was unsure of what was going on. We got to the meeting, they sat us down. I'm trying to figure out who my trainer is going to be. I'm looking around, talking to the older missionaries that are there. And they give us these red envelopes and like, okay, so you can open it up and it'll have your trainer and your area. And so they have us do it one by one, and I get to the front and I open it up, and it says Elder Jensen Gangshan Ward. And my trainer stands up. He's a big Navy guy, and he's like, come here, son. And he comes and just hugs me really tight that I gasp, and like I lost all air. And everyone's kind of like, oh no, he killed his trainee. But then I was like, okay, I'm okay. And then after that meeting, we head straight to Gangshan, which is on the southern on the southern tip of the island, basically. We rode a train for 4 or 5 hours, and I was just exhausted, and yet we still went and taught people. We went and contacted, and then it was a great start. But I just remember asking him stuff like all the train ride down, just like, what's this like? What do we do? What's our city like? And it was just funny because he would tell me all these answers, and by the next day I'd forgotten everything he said just because it's all a blur, that I had to ask it all again. And he's like, you already asked all these questions. But I definitely, that exciting beginning was definitely a great start.